we are going to create our Shopify theme. So the first thing that we'll need to do is create a new directory on our machine. I'm going to open up my Finder here, and I'm just going to create that new directory in my root directory. You can create it wherever you want. I'm just going to put it right inside of here. And we're going to give this a name of Cupcake. This is going to be our Cupcake theme. Now, what we'll want to do is drag this out, open this out inside of our text editor. So I've got Sublime here as my text editor. And what we'll want to do is, before we even start creating any files or any directories, let's go take a look at a Shopify theme first. And so here I am. I've got my Cupcake Box app development store, and I'm just going to go into the Dawn theme. So click into our online store themes. We'll see how we have Dawn. If we click into the ellipsis, we'll see edit code. Let's edit this code and take a look at this theme's files. Here you'll see on the left-hand side that we have a list of directories. These themes, Shopify's themes, they have to follow a very structured directory, or follow a very specific structure when it comes to the directory. And this is what we have right here. For our assets, you've got that for your JavaScript and your styling with this config here, which is what we're going to need to create in order to configure the metadata of our theme, like the name of it, the version of it, who was the one that created it. There's also a number of different configurations that we'll learn about in the series here. And then you'll see how we have this layout directory. Now, when it comes to this layout directory, everything begins at this theme liquid file. This is the entry point into your store, into your theme. So this is where it all begins. And the idea is, and how Shopify works is, your templates, this is what's going to be rendered based on where you're at in your store. And so if we take a look at just going to the online store, this is the index page. And so what happens is, we hit the theme liquid file, it imports or brings in all of the styling, the JavaScript, and then it will render the index.json template. Now we'll talk about JSON right here in the series, and so we will certainly go over that when we build out our theme. That's what we want to do right now. So we want to create this theme liquid file, and then we're going to need to create these configurations here as well, because this is information about our theme. And we're going to start off with the absolute minimum that we need. Let's go and create that. We're going to go into our Sublime text. We'll right click, new folder. We're going to give this a name called layout. And inside that layout is going to be the theme liquid file. Now for now, we're going to start off with something very simple. This is our theme liquid. Now it's not nearly as complicated as what we just saw in the theme, in the Dawn theme. It's because, again, we don't need to include all of that code. The Dawn theme, it's the reason why there's a whole lot inside of here is because it needs to account for all of Shopify's features, things like notifications or sales or shipping or translations, and so it needs to account for all of that. So this code can be a little bit overwhelming, especially when it starts to import different JavaScript files and different styling files. But it can be as simple as what we have right here. This content for header, you just need to add this in here. It's nothing that you're going to have to worry too much about. Every theme's going to need this content for header. This is just so the Shopify apps, if you ever add any Shopify apps to your store, that they can inject their own JavaScript into the header of your store. The content for layout, this is going to render whatever page you're on. So when I mentioned earlier that if you're on the home page of a Shopify store, it's going to render the index page, that index template. And so that's what this content for header or content for layout is saying is, okay, if we're on the home page, it'll be the index template. If we're on the product page right here, it'll be the product JSON template. And so that's what this content for layout is doing. She said, go ahead and just render those pages. Now, what we need to do is let's create that template, that index page. Let's create a new folder. We're going to call this templates. And then we're going to create a new file. We're going to name this index liquid for now is what we're going to name this. And then here, all we have to do is very simple, H1, and let's do a hello world example. Now, what we can do here is create these other two config files, settings JSON, settings data, or excuse me, settings schema, settings data. So let's go create those files here as well. So we're going to do config, and in our config, two files. One is settings data JSON. The other one is that settings schema JSON. And for our settings schema, this is the configuration that we're going to set here. If we take a look at the Dawn theme, you'll see it's an array. It starts off with an array. It's got the square bracket, and then you have information about the theme. And then some additional configurations down below here that we're not going to do in our theme. So at the very least, we need to have a single setting. I was not able to remove this, and so I have one setting in here. This is the name of our theme. We can just name this cupcake like this instead of cupcake box. And then inside of our settings data, very simple. We're not going to have any settings inside of here, not yet, or at all. Actually, we're not going to touch this at all. We're just going to leave this as is right here. So we're not going to put all of the configuration options inside of this settings data right here. We're not going to have any configs that we need to put inside of here. But once we have this working, this is the absolute minimum that we need to get this working. We can do this. We have our Shopify CLI already installed. And so we can do Shopify theme app. And then we have to give it the store. So give it the name of your store. So for me, this is the name of my store. Cupcake Box app, myshopify.com. Oh, sorry. Shopify theme dev. That's what I meant, not theme app. Shopify theme dev. Yes, confirm. Yep, it says it looks like we're not running this in a theme directory. That is true. That is true. Let me get back out of here. We do need to go into our theme. So let's go into Cupcake in here, and then we can do Shopify. And this is going to be the Shopify theme dev is what we want. It still says it doesn't look like we're in a theme directory, but we are. The reason it says that is because we don't have a whole lot of other files inside of our theme yet, but this warning will eventually go away once we begin to start adding all of those different templates. It says, do you want to continue running? Yes. Confirm. I'll just continue to confirm this. You'll see it gives us this URL to preview our theme. You can copy that. So I'm going to copy this. And then let's just go directly to that URL. Oh, it says it's not searching. Oh, it's not working here. And it does this sometimes because for some reason it doesn't recognize that this is a theme. And so sometimes what you have to do is do a Shopify theme push is what you have to do. And then the store will be still the Cupcake Box app, myshopify.com. Yes, I confirm. We're going to create a brand new theme is what this is going to be. So this we have to push this first. So we create a brand new theme. And the name of it, we're just going to cover this cupcake. We'll just have it match the name of our directory. Perfect. There you go. That's what we needed to do. Now, before we do that, though, let me just now run the Shopify theme dev command so that it has like a real we'll see it running inside of here. We'll keep it running so that when we start making changes to our directory structure, it'll automatically push those changes out because we have a running connection to our store, if you will. So now if we go in here, there you go. Hello world. This is the home page of our store. It's using our cupcake theme. What we can do here is now let's go into our files, our template files, and then what I can grab is the HTML template for our home page. So let me go grab our HTML template. We have our index page right here. This is something that you can that you've been given, and if I scroll down, or that you can find in the description of this video. But I'm just going to grab everything all the way down to the footer. So I'm going to copy everything, and actually let me do it this way. It's actually a little bit easier doing it this way. So I'm not going to grab any of the JavaScript yet. We're not going to touch that JavaScript yet. We're going to grab reset password modal, sign in modal, flavor of the week modal, footer. Here it is. We want everything from footer to where that header is. All right. So this top ticker. So from the footer this to the top ticker, or top ticker down to the footer. We're going to copy that. And then if we go into our index liquid right here, let's just paste over it for now. I'm going to paste over it, and let me indent this back so that it's proper. Make sure that this is a tab size of 2. I prefer to have 2 spaces. Because we have this Shopify theme dev running, you'll see that it's constantly syncing up, right? There's that constant connection. It's the server, if you will, that's running. And so if we refresh our store now, you'll see, okay, great. We've got some things here, and it looks fantastic. But what we're missing is all of the styling that we have. So if we take a look at this, the template, we don't have all of this styling right here. Not only that, not only is that's the custom styling, but this template, that's the HTML theme, is going to be based off of Bootstrap. So we're going to be using Bootstrap to style our theme. So I'm going to grab all of this, and we're going to need to put this in the head of our theme. We're going to also need to bring in the CSS. So let me go out here, and if we go to our theme liquid file, we can leave that content for header as is. Let's go and re-indent this down to 2 indents. If we refresh our page, it starts to look a whole lot better. Now this is just the Bootstrap CSS that's coming in. What we need to do is also bring in all of this custom styling. And what's neat is, let me show you, we're going to create our very first CSS file. So that needs to live under the assets directory. So I'm going to create a brand new folder called assets. And then we're going to give this one a name called theme CSS. If we copy everything inside of our style, let me just copy everything inside of here. And I know I don't need this style. Just like this. You can include this in the theme liquid file. How do you include this in the theme liquid file? Let me show you. This is the code. You have your style sheet, your href. This is using liquid syntax. It is going to evaluate and determine, excuse me, where this theme CSS file is. And so this asset URL, that's a keyword within Shopify's liquid templating language, in that it's going to know how to go and find that theme CSS file. Now if I refresh my page, it's looking a whole lot closer to the HTML template. In our next lessons, in our next videos, we're going to show you how you can build this out and make things functional.